You are going to play one of the matches marked on the calendar. A complicated match for the team. How do you expect tomorrow's match to be?
It will be the same as always. A complicated and difficult match against a great rival. It has always been this way, and I think tomorrow will be no different. These are matches with a lot of competition, a lot of struggle, but very entertaining for the fans as well. The last matches have been exciting and with many goals. Both teams have players of high quality. Certainly, tomorrow's match will be a spectacle.
You said that you resolved the issue of yellow cards for protesting internally. Have you talked to your players? Tomorrow's match will be intense. Do you have any fears about consequences in this regard?
Yes, of course, we have talked about it. I think there have been too many yellow cards just for protesting. The only way to avoid that for tomorrow's match is not to make unnecessary protests.
Camavinga was training with the team today. Do you think we will see Camavinga in the squad? Will he play some minutes or even be a starter tomorrow?
Camavinga is available. He has trained well, he has recovered well, and he is in good physical condition. He will be available for tomorrow, and when someone is available, that player can play 90 minutes or even 0 minutes.
Will the formation have Bellingham closer to the forwards as we saw last season? Since with Mbappe, Bellingham now plays further back in midfield.
Well, Bellingham's position in the match depends a lot on his role and the strategy we want to apply for each match. Obviously, without Mbappe, the strategy changes a little, but not too much. Last year, Mbappe wasn't there, and we were obviously used to playing without him. It's pity that Mbappe is not available for this match, but I believe we can manage well without him.
Have you seen the social media movement by fans calling for wearing masks and insulting Vinicius anonymously? What do you think of this, and do you believe it could harm Vinicius?
What I think is what I have said before. Tomorrow's match will be a great show because there are top-level players playing in both teams. Both teams will show their best quality to make it a fantastic show.
Do you understand Atletico Madrid's complaint about having 48 hours less rest?
Yes, of course, I understand it, because it has happened to us many times in the past, mostly against the same Atletico, so I understand it, yes.
How is your team doing a month after pointing out problems with its play? Have the identified problems been resolved?
Well, I believe the team has improved, especially considering the last match we played, although I also take into account the lapses we had in the last 10 minutes of the match. But the last matches show signs of being a more cohesive, compact, and effective team. We have scored many goals, and all of them of good quality, so I believe we are on the right track. Obviously, tomorrow is an important test for us in this regard. Having a compact team will be key for this match.
How do you see this version of Atletico compared to last year? Do you see the same team as always? Do you find this match special, considering that the only match you lost last season was against them? You have now gone 39 matches without losing since then.
The match against Atletico is a special match because it's the Derby. And derbies in all countries are always special. My analysis of Atletico is that I believe they have improved a lot compared to last season. They have strengthened their squad by signing very good players. Undoubtedly, they will fight until the end to win this league against us in Barcelona.
Will the team's formation remain as 4-3-3, knowing that Mbappe will not be part of the team, Or will it be like it was played last season?
I don't pay much attention to the game system because the 4-3-3 can change due to several factors. You can play 4-4-2 with exactly the same players. So it's not that if I place one more midfielder on the field, we would automatically be playing 4-4-2. The same goes if I add another forward to be 4-3-3. It could be that with 3 forwards we play 4-4-2, leaving Vinny or Rodrigo as wingers. In conclusion, I don't focus on that. What I focus on is that the team is cohesive and shows commitment.
This season you have only won one away match, and last season you lost both matches you played at the Metropolitano. How do you view this visit to the same stadium tomorrow?
It is quite obvious that this is a difficult match. But every match has its own story. Predicting what will happen tomorrow is very complicated to do. But we have a plan that we want to implement and enjoy the match. We trust that everything will go well.
This week it has been leaked that Vinicius would be the winner of the Ballon d'Or this year. Do you think he deserves the Ballon d'Or? If not, who would you vote for?
I believe he deserves it for the effectiveness he had last season, especially in the Champions League. Thanks to him, we won the title. He scored in the semifinal and in the final. So I believe he should win it, but if he doesn't win, then it's no big deal. We continue doing our jobs, and he does the same.
What do you think you and your team lack to change the trend of having lost 6 matches, 2 draws, and only 2 victories in your last 10 visits to the Metropolitano?
Well, it's simply because this is a very complicated stadium, and we need to do better, and that's it.
After losing at the Metropolitano last year, there was a lot to learn. Can the learning gained from last season's experience in this stadium be applied to tomorrow's match against Atlético de Madrid?
Yes, of course, 100% correct. We need to avoid the mistakes we made last year. And that's very obvious. That defeat woke us up, and we have worked very well defensively. So this learning can help us for tomorrow's match.
The atmosphere in this stadium is always very hostile, especially against Courtois and Vinicius. But the fact that organizations have formed for Atlético de Madrid, fans to go to the stadium with masks to avoid being identified and insult freely, what do you think of all this?
Obviously, we are not going to comment on this, and we do not want to think about this. We only talk about the match and being ready for it. I believe that on that subject, I understand that the Justice Department is working on this and making decisions. We saw some of this last week. So I think this is an issue we don't need to worry about, as we have other things to focus on. There are institutions that will take notice of this and take action on it, as is correct.
What is the difference in tomorrow's derby compared to so many others you have managed in your career over the years? Are there some you like more than others?
Every derby has something special. I suppose this depends on the culture of each country. The derby in this country is very similar to the derby in Rome because the fans are very passionate about their teams and show it in these matches. Meanwhile, the Milan derby is much calmer because the fans in the north are a bit colder than those in the south. This is very evident.